You know what time it is? It's time for UGA Season 2. Let's go!
What is up, guys? My name is Bryan. I am one half of that Pokeduo, and I am your coach of the Charlotte Beedrills, the draft team that floats like Butterfree and stings like a Beedrill. And dang, is it not a good time to be using that intro again. So, yep, you heard it right, folks. We are back for UGA Season 2! Let's get this on! So, today's video is the team introduction. Excited to do this. We didn't do one of these for Season 1. We're going to do it for Season 2. We're going to have some fun here. And we're going to get things started. So, without further ado, we're going to go over just a little introduction to the draft. I am, again, in the Johto Division with people like Matrix, Bioptic, Masinko, all the greats. Carmine's not here, unfortunately, but, you know, he was going to lose to us anyway. We're good like that. So, anyway, this instead of having, like, the 12th pick, last week we got randomized to be like the 12th pick. We got pick number 4, so we had early pick'ems, and then we had some really wait a long time to start picking again. So that's what kind of happens with the draft order. It goes 116, and then immediately 16 to 1. So it's a snake. So yeah, that is what it is. But without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get the team reveal going. So for the first pick that we had at the number 4 slot, we took Excadrill. And so what Excadrill is really good. It has fantastic abilities and synergy within the mode I wanted to run. So I was mainly looking at the Sand Rush. Basically, it was Sand Rush. I was looking at Sand Rush. Going for it. I didn't want to run another rain team. I wanted to try something a little different. And yeah, so basically the first pick was Excadrill. It gets the grade as rock coverage. It's got steel, ground, max steel spikes, raise defense, can double the speed in the sand, ignores opponent's abilities. So there's a lot I can do with this Excadrill. It's not a legendary. A lot of the picks in the first round were legendaries, like Zapdos, Tapu Fini, that kind of thing. Spectrier were some picks that other teams made. But we're going to go Gen 5 Excadrill with the first pick. So, yep, that was the first pick. And now we're going to go on to the next one. And this is going to pair fantastically with the Excadrill. And that is Gigalith. Gigalith was tier 2. Yeah, it was tier 2, and it gets the ability Sandstream, so it's basically light Tyranitar. But what I like about that pick is it pairs really well with the Sand Rush, with like a Sand Rush or even a Sand Force Excadrill with the Sandstream ability, which sets the sand up immediately. High attack, 130 base attack, super high attack. Rivals that of like Machamp, Flareon, that kind of thing. And then really high defense stat too, so I could use it as a wall. I could use it as a potential wall I wanted. And I was looking yesterday, and it got a move that I didn't know it got. It has Wide Guard as an egg move. So if I felt something was bringing like an Earthquake or a Surf or something like that, I could just use that and get priority. And get the priority protection. And it even protects from, like, if I were to use Surf or Earthquake. So Wide Guard is definitely something I'm looking into. And I'm actually really looking forward to seeing if I could ever see if it's ever viable in the Series 7 meta. So, next up, we've got another pairing with the Gigalith. Stoutland. The Stoutland Gigalith pairing is fan-frickin-tastic. So, It's another Sand Rushmon, and as a normally a normal type would get damaged by the sandstorm in sand, but if you have the ability Sand Rush like Statland has, it doesn't. It'll get the boost, the speed boost, to double the speed in the sand. It also doesn't receive damage from the sand, so that's really cool. Statland also, I could potentially run an Intimidate on Statland. If I didn't want to run Sand, maybe I want to run Trick Room or something like that. Well, I just gave away another mode. But if I wanted to lower attack or something like that, I could run an Intimidate set if I didn't feel like running Sand. And then it's got some really cool moves. It's got the Psychic Fangs, so we could break some screens from Gigantamax Lapras. If anyone from the Grimmsnarl that likes to say Prankster screens, some Morgrim, you know, anything that has that screens, I can use Stoutland to get rid of it. So that is really freaking cool. Next up, so at this point, there were a couple, I'm going to let you know, at a couple of times in the draft, the lobby went wild with reactions to picks. So, is at this point. So if you look at the Pokemon I have picked, we've got Excadrill, Ground and Sand type. We've got the Gigalith, Rock type. You see there's a weakness there. We got a weakness to water. Well, this pick, fantastic pick, basically null and voids any water weakness that my team has. We went with Cradilly. Cradilly has the hidden ability Storm Drain, which works basically if it's on the field and there's a water move, the water move gets redirected into the Cradilly, and it's an immunity. And then it also gets a special attack boost. So it'll protect any protect all my mons that are weak from water from the water type attacks upon switch in. So and this was the first time that the lobby went wild. Like at least 7, maybe 7 might be exaggerating a little bit. But at least 5, I think it was around 5 people had some kind of no reaction when I took Cradilly at that. And that was really funny. Matrix messaged me on Discord right after I made that pick. He was like, that was a good pick. And I'm just like, oh yeah, Cradilly. And I can even be a little tricky with Cradilly. I can snap a weakness policy on it and do a self-procking weakness policy strat. That'd be really fun. So, a little innovative there, but that's definitely something I'm definitely thinking about doing. We're gonna maybe a weakness policy with Cradilly strat one week. That'd be really super fun. So, and there, the next pick I took. So you see where I'm going with the draft at this moment. We've got sand right now. So that's pretty obvious. And also wanted a little secondary mode. I didn't really have much of a secondary mode last year. It was mainly rain and then what I could piece together. And my rain wasn't even that good last year. Anyway. So we decided to go Trick Room because Trick Room was the mode that I had the most trouble with. I had nothing for Trick Room. So we're going to use this little season as my little intro to Trick Room. It'll be fun. So I decided this year my Trick Room setter was going to be Bronzong. And Bronzong is fantastic. He does get the Trick Room. I can also imprison Trick Room if I want. If I don't want, my opponent has a better Trick Room mode than me, I can bring it to imprison the Trick Room so my opponent can't Trick Room. And then it's got moves like Bulldoze that could self-proc a weakness policy to make my Pokemon slower in the Trick Room. So there's some interesting stuff I can do that, and then I could also do some Iron Defense. I think it gets access to Body Press. I think it gets I think it gets access to Body Press, so I can do some Iron Defense Body Press strats. That'd be if it does get the Body Press. I'm pretty sure it gets Body Press, but if it gets the Body Press, that's definitely something to look into. Okay, so we're about halfway through our draft. People are starting to see Sam, starting to see Strict Room. Next up, we've got my first free pick that I took. Rhyperior. Fantastic Trick Room mod. It has the solid rock to weaken any super effective attacks that come into it. And then it also has Lightning Rod redirection for any incoming electric attacks. It's not going to get special attack boost, but that is a immunity that I could run at some point. Excuse me. Okay. Yeah, then it gets some really good coverage. It gets the elemental punches, fighting type moves, obviously the ground and rock. It's got some steals. So yeah, it's pretty good attacking stat, good defenses. Pretty good. A little weak on the special defensive side, but that's just that comes with a lot of rock types. A lot of rock types are very specially defensive, but you know, it is what it is. We take those. Okay, so next up, in a complete, well, not a complete 180 from my previous draft. In the previous draft, my very first pick was a G-Max, and this time I wanted to wait a little bit. I wanted to see what I could, what good G-Maxes I could get later in the draft. So, a little bit different from last year's draft. The tier list this year had three separate Gigantamax tiers. So, the better ones, you know, like the G-Max Urshifus, Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur, that kind of things. The ones that are really abusive, Lapras, for instance. Those all subtracted points from your free point lists. And then there were ones that had no effects. For example, in the tier list that we had, Butterfree, Duraludon, a couple of others. Scorch didn't affect your point differential, your free points, and then some actually gave you 50 points. So those were the little ones that were basically aren't very good, like G-Max Pikachu, GX Meowth, Machamp, Sandaconda, that kind of thing. So any ones that weren't really that good actually gave you an extra 50 points in your free picks. And I was going to take the G-Max Sandaconda here, but that got sniped. That got sniped like round 4. It was like the very first pick of that day. It was a multi-day draft because we're a multi-time zone division. So it got a G-Max Sandaconda got a really early pick. It got like a round 4 pick. So that kind of threw me for a loop a little bit. I had to reconfigure my draft plan. I had planned this draft about 2 weeks in, going Sand and Trick Room mode. So I was really disappointed that Sandaconda went as early as it did, the G-Max Sandaconda. And I really like G-Max Sandaconda. So I'm really mad I didn't get that, but you know, it is what it is. So I was looking at it, and I was wondering, should I go with a Pokemon that fits my fits into the sand, or should I try something a little different? Get something that doesn't really fit in the fan, but could even have a role in my other plans, like Volt Switcher, Switch, one of those kind of Pokemon. So in the so I decided, instead of getting a plus 50 that I wanted, I decided to go into the Gmax Tier 2 list and take Gigantamax Toxtricity, which is another one of my favorite Gmax forms. I really like the Gmax Stun Shock that could either paralyze or poison my opponent. So it's something that I'm really fond. Actually really like that Pokemon. Punk Rock's such a great ability, giving it a boost to its sound-based moves and a resistance to sound-based moves. And then Volt Switch is just a fantastic move in general for switching momentum. So I thought even if I brought Toxtricity, I didn't necessarily have to Gmax it because it's such a good Pokemon even outside of Gigantamax. So I really like that pick. Toxtricity, I use it on my playthrough team, and I really like that Pokemon. So Gmax Toxtricity, welcome to the Charlotte Beedrills. So we're coming toward the end of the draft here, and this is where you're gonna see a lot more Trick Room stuff coming. So my next pick, we took Vikavolt. So, Vikavolt has a fantastic special attacking stat. It's got like a 145 special attacking stat with some good freaking coverage. It's got the Electric and Bug, obviously, but it's got Steel types for like Flash Cannon. It's got Energy Ball. I wish it got Weather Ball. I was looking at it. If it had gotten Weather Ball, that would have been such a that'd be a fantastic addition to its moveset, but it doesn't get Weather Ball. Whatever. Like, so many more Pokemon got Energy Ball. Why'd you give it the Vikavolt, Game Freak? You could do it. But, anyway. So, it's a little fast for Trick Room at 46 speed. But I can just drop, like, there are ways I can lower, Vikavolt's speed and all that kind of stuff. So, it still works really freaking well in Trick Room. Hits like a truck. So, that's gonna be, really fun. Or I could also do a slow Volt Switcher with that one. So that's how. So that's mainly it on the Vikavolt. So the next pick, really like this pick. We went with Slowbro. So Slowbro is fantastic in Trick Room. It's got like a base 30 speed, so it's one of the better. That's one of the better tiers for Trick Room speeds. And then it's got a 100 special attack. It has access to the Weather Ball. Water moves are so good in the meta. Psychic moves are good. I was wondering if we should go Galarian, but it wasn't as bulky. The Galarian Slowbros has 100 attack and special attack, so it has the same base stat total, so it lost points in its defenses. And I figured I needed a little more bulk than offense, even though Slowbro is still pretty specially offensive. And I just we'll take that one. It has a really high defense stat at 100, more like 110. Defense stat, so I can run like a wall if I wanted to. A little more defensive than offensive, but see what it goes. Gives me another Trick Room setter if I need to reverse Trick Room or something like that, but I don't think I'd run Trick Room on that one since I have the problems off. But maybe there's an instance where I'd bring Trick Room Slowbro. Who knows? Anyway, so that's something. Okay, 2 picks left. So it was right here that I knew exactly what I wanted. So I really wanted Lopunny. Lopunny is a fantastic tier 4 mon. It is so tricky. Its stats don't look like it's going to hit hard. But you don't want Lopunny to hit hard. You want it to screw with your opponent. You want it to fake out. We got circle throws. We got all these. We've got trick, switcheroo. We've got a whole bunch of little niche things that Lopunny can frustrate literally anybody who's unprepared. We were this freaking close to grabbing Lopunny. But no! Dragon, the coach of the amateur Alcremies who we faced last season, had the pick right before me where I was going to pick Lopunny, and he got Lopunny. This was the second time that chat went wild. And honestly, I'm the one who went wild in chat. I mean, a couple other people really wanted that Lopunny too, but I was livid. I was like, I was gonna take Lopunny. I was gonna mess with my opponents, and now he's gonna mess with the opponents. What is this? But so this is when I talked to some people who had already taken their tier 4 picks, and is like, okay, my plan is now out the window. What should we do here? So I was talking. I wanted like a fake out. I wanted a switch move. So also thinking U-turn or full switch. But we were looking down the tier 4 list, and one of the coaches of the Orlando Oshawotts, he suggested flip turn. I was like, yes, flip turn. I forgot about flip turn. That's a move I haven't even used, and I haven't ever used flip turn. But so we're looking, and we found something that is not totally Lopunny Light, but for the instances of this pick, it's Lopunny Light. And I know you're thinking Neri, you know, pre-evolve form, still pretty fast at 85 speed, but nope, not Neri. So we are going, at this pick, we took Wartortle. It's a great mon. So it gets a fake out. It has access to Haze. It has access to a whole bunch of other tricky stuff. It's got Yawn. It's got Flip Turn. So it's basically some stuff that I was going to have Lopunny do. Maybe Flip Turn out into a Stand Setter or a Trick Room Setter or something like that to do a little chip damage and help my Pokemon knock out the opponents. And another dude with a little chip. And I could even proc some weakness policies with Aqua Jet. It's got the Aqua Jet, so I could proc some weakness policies. It's a mixed attacker. It's got a good attack, special attack, and attacking stat. So I could run a physical. I could run a special stat. I could run a Choice Scarf if I wanted to use a flip turn strat at some point. So so yeah, we went with Wartortle there. I can't wait to, we're going to make people respect the turtle. People respect Blastoise. People don't respect Wartortle. We're going to make people respect Wartortle here. That's what we're going to do. So, so that leaves us with the final pick. And we went with Girder. Girder is a good Eviolite mon. It's slow. It's like a 40 speed, so it's pretty decent in Trick Room. It's got a lot of priority. It's got the Mach Punch. It's got the Iron Fist. We got Sheer Force for a little extra damage input. Pair it with a Life Orb. Mostly, we're just gonna do Eviolites. Basically, runs Eviolite, but maybe there's some strat where I put a Life Orb on it with Sheer Force. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Can't wait to see what we do with that. And even though that's 11 picks, we're not actually done here. So, after the draft was completed, we had a 24-hour grace period to make up to 2 changes to the team. And with that, so there were 2 things. I was definitely going to take advantage of this grace period. And there were 2 mons that I was looking to drop or add. I was looking to either drop Slowbro or the Rhyperior. So if I was to drop the Slowbro, I would replace it with Volcarona. It gets the Quiver Dance. It gets Rage Power for a better misdirection than Storm Drain is. And then it's got a really high special attack stat. So I have it also does get a little Fire, Water, Grass Core with the Wartortle, the Cradily, and the Volcarona. But then I also have the option of dropping Rhyperior for Entei. Entei gets a Sacred Fire, which is a 50% burn on a 100% accurate move. So if something's like a really something like it was a Glastrier counter basically, because Glastrier doesn't get any Rock type moves. He just gets Max Quake. Yeah, and I could just put a Shuka Berry on it, put a little in the defenses, and I basically wouldn't do anything. And then I could just burn it, and then it would go down. It would weaken it even worse. So a little bit of deliberation, and I decided that my grace period transaction, which doesn't go into the 5 trades that were allowed throughout the week, throughout the season, I decided to drop Rhyperior for Entei. And Entei also, even with, I can even bring in outside of other, of like burning physical attackers. It gets access to Snarl. So I could lower special attackers. It has Roar, so I could Roar if one of my opponents has like a better Trick Room strat. I could Roar it out. So and then it's really fast. It gets extreme speed for a little bit of for a little extra priority. And I figured with this format allowing more legendary Pokemon, we might as well put a legendary on the team. It's a pretty solid legendary. Fits what I want to do. It's my I do have a little bit of a speed issue outside of setting the sand, but that's where Entei comes in. It gets it has 100 speed. It's my fastest. It'll be my fastest mon on the team, and I look forward to do some damage with it. So with that in mind, that's gonna be that is your Charlotte Beedrills for UGA Season 2. So thanks for watching the video, and I will come back with when the Draft League battle starts. Thanks, and have a fantastic